Step inside the dugout. I'm Alec, and this is the Sports Breakdown MLB show. Today on the show, we recap opening week of the MLB, as well as I give you some fantasy baseball advice. So without further ado, let's jump right in and get started here. Share screen. Scores. So we start on Thursday. We had a bunch of games, and I'm going to go over the box score of every game and give you my thoughts on each game. We start with the Brewers. We start with the Mets and Pirates, and we look at the box score for the Pirates. I'm going to go to something first. I'm going to go to the pitching. And I don't think you need to be worried about Paul Skeens. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, a strikeout. This was opening day, his first start of the year. And I think Skeens, he's going to be just fine. If you look at the bullpen after, Yohan Ramirez went 2 innings, gave up a hit, didn't give up any runs. Struck out 3, did give up a walk. Then you had Mason Montgomery come in. An inning in the third, a hit, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. That's consistent with what. That's probably the reason he got traded from the Rays, was due to the fact that he was very inconsistent with striking out batters. And then you had Isaac Matson come in and give up 3 hits, 2 earned runs. No walks. Actually, he did walk 2 batters. He had a strikeout as well. You had Justin Lawrence come in. He pitched an inning. 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Didn't walk anybody. Didn't strike out anybody. Then you had Gregory Soto come in. He struck out 2. Didn't give up a run. That's the good Gregory Soto experience. And then you had Dennis Santana, who had a clean inning, a strikeout, and a walk, but didn't give up a hit, didn't give up an earned run. Then you go and you look at the Mets side of it in the pitching. You had Freddie Peralta went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. Again, first game of the season, he's probably trying to refine a few things. He does get the win. He did give up 2 home runs. And then you had Tobias Myers come out of the bullpen, go 3 innings, give up a hit, an earned run. He did have a strikeout. Luis Garcia, the pitcher, one of the 2 pitchers, Luis Garcia, because the other one's on the Yankees, and they're minor league and AAA for them now. Luis Garcia in an inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. Overall, you did not want to be a pitcher in this game, because you look at the hits, look at the home runs. On the Pirates side, Lau had a home run. O'Hearn had a home run. So you had 2 home runs for the Pirates. On the Mets side, you had Carson Bench hit his first career home run. Francisco Alvarez had a home run. So 2 home runs for each side. The hitter that stood out to me in this game on the Pirates side, I would have to go with 3 guys. Nick Gonzalez going 2 for 4. Ryan O'Hearn going 2 for 4. And Brandon Lau going 2 for 4 with his first home run as a Pirate. And I think the trade is going to work out for both sides. The Rays, they got a couple of young guys, but we know how the Rays like to identify young guys. And then on the Mets side, I would say the standout performance here is it's Luis Robert to me. It's Luis Robert Marcus Semien, and Francisco Alvarez. Luis Robert, first game as a Met, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, a walk. He did have a strikeout, but I liked what I saw from Luis Robert in this game. And then Marcus Semien, his first game as well as a Met, he went 2 for 5. He had an RBI, he had one strikeout in this game. If he could cut down on the strikeouts, I think Marcus Semien could be a fine addition for the Mets. And Carson Bench, before I get to Francisco Alvarez, I kind of want to break down Carson Bench a little bit. Carson Bench raked in the spring, and it went down to the last day of spring training, and he ended up making the team. And I think Carson Bench is going to be a sleeper guy in fantasy baseball. And then you got Francisco Alvarez, 2 for 4, 2 hits, and RBI. He did not strike out in this game. And I like the fact that he's what's the word I'm looking for? Consistency. He's consistent. He'll get you at least 1 to 2 hits every game. Now we get to the White Sox and the Brewers. And there's not much to go over here with the White Sox and Brewers. White Sox got destroyed 14-2. Mazeroski pitched really good. Shane Smith got lit up. We're going to leave it at that with that game. We go to the Nationals and the Cubs. And I want to point out for the Nationals, 2 guys. First one being Joey Wiemer. He started off the season before last night. Because he did have 2 hits. He was 8 for 8 going into the game last night. Had 2 hits, and then he grounded out. But Joey Wiemer, maybe the Nationals found something in him. He went 3 for 3 in this game with an RBI and a walk. No, with an RBI and a strikeout. No, I was right. An RBI and a walk. And then you had Brady House, 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. He did strike out twice. He also had 2 RBIs. But it looks like the adjustments he made in spring training are leading into the season, are carrying on over into the season. And we might have something here with Brady House that I can say, I don't think we saw this coming. Wiemer and Brady House both had home runs. We get to the pitching side of it for the Nationals. 3 2/3 innings from Cade Cavalli. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. I want to circle that 5 strikeouts. That's what we need to see from him consistently. Then you look at the bullpen. Poulin won an inning, gave up a hit, walked 1. Brad Lord, who ended up getting the win, 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 1 earned, 1 strikeout. Then you had Clayton Beeter. Didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a run, did walk 2, struck out 1. And then you had Perez come in, gave up nothing in his inning, struck out 2 guys. And then now we go to the Cubs side and we look at their pitching. Before I call out a performance I liked under hitting side. So we had Matthew Boyd, who took the loss, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned. He did strike out 7, which is we need to see that consistently from Matthew Boyd. We need to see him consistently striking out hitters. If he does that, you know what that means. He's going to be consistently good every start. Then you had Ben Brown, 3 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts. I'm gonna guess that Ben Brown's gonna be kind of that long reliever out of the pen and that swing guy. If they have issues in the rotation with injuries, Ben Brown can easily slide into the rotation. Kobe Milner pitched an inning, gave up a hit, didn't strike anybody out. Jacob Webb pitched an inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, no earn. Didn't walk anybody, 2 strikeouts. He did give up a home run. I'm going to say the performance out of the bullpen for the Cubs that stood out to me is Ben Brown. There was talk he was going to start the year in Iowa with the Iowa Cubs, but I guess they saw it up in spring training to give him the opportunity to start the year with the Cubs. And now we get to the hitting side of it. And the guy I want to signal out as a guy that played for the USA in a World Baseball Classic, Pete Crow Armstrong. Everybody was saying he's overrated. He had 1 good year. He didn't deserve the 6-year extension that he got, which I think he personally did. 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. Didn't score a run. He did strike out twice, but that's not what matters. Pete Crow Armstrong, I see a huge year coming for PCA. 20 home run, maybe 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Overall, and you'll see more from another. I don't know what to say. That was an ugly game. Now we get to the second part. As you can see, the Orioles and Twins 2-1. It looked like it was there's a lot of good. This was a good pitching matchup. Trevor Rogers got the win. Cody Funderburk took the loss, and Ryan Helsley got the save. Total of 10 hits between the two teams, 2 errors combined. You're going to see this early in the season. Sloppy defense, some low-scoring games. Then we get to the Red Sox and the Reds. Crochet, obviously, as you see, got the win. Johnson took the loss. Pierce Johnson took the loss for the Reds, and Chapman got the save. This game was a 1-0 game going into the 9th, and then the Red Sox added on 2 runs. Then we get to the Astros and the Angels, and Jose Soriano, a guy that I'm not very high on I wasn't very high on going into the year, gets the win. And AJ Bluebaugh takes the loss. And the Astros start the year 0-1. Again, this was another game that was very low scoring. I think the Angels scored 1 run in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th to win this game. And if that doesn't tell you that this might be a bad year for the Astros, I don't know what does. Then we get to the Tigers and the Padres. And the Tigers end up winning 8-2, 8 hits, I mean, 8 runs, 12 hits, an error. The standout performance in this game was Kevin McGonigal. In Tigers fans, I think you need to give him an extension. Scooble gets the win. The big inning for the Tigers was the first inning. 4 runs in the first inning. Then they added 2 in the third and 2 in the fifth. And they gave up single runs in the in the sixth inning and the seventh inning. Pavetta took the loss. Scooble gets the win. Now to a crazy game between the Rays and the Cardinals. And as you see, Riley O'Brien took the win. Garrett Clevenger got the loss. Stanek got the save. So the Cardinals opened the scoring in the third inning. The Rays did not score till the fifth. A 6-run sixth inning for the Rays, just to have it erased by an 8-run sixth inning for the Cardinals. And that's how this game ends, with the Cardinals beating the Rays 9-7 to open the season 1-0. Then we get to the Rangers and the Phillies. Christopher Sanchez got the win. Nathan Eovaldi took the loss. Johan Duran got the save. The scoring started in the first inning with the Phillies taking a 2-0 lead. And they added 3 in the fifth. And the Rangers got their 3 runs in the ninth. Rangers got 3 in the ninth, and that was it. And then to wrap up Thursday, we had 2 more games. And the first one, it looked uneventful. The Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks 8-2. Yamamoto gets the win. Gallen takes the loss. The Diamondbacks opened the scoring in the fourth inning with a 2-run fourth. Dodgers answered with a 4-run fifth. And then 4 more in the seventh to win 8-2. This is the game I want to cover here. And Guardians rookie outfielder Chase DeLauter. We look at the hitting. Guardians outfielder Chase DeLauter, 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. He did have a strikeout, but 2 of those 3 hits for DeLauter were home runs. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have Chase DeLauter on your fantasy baseball team and he's somehow out there in your fantasy baseball league, you need to pick him up. The pitching in this game, Tanner Bybee went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He gave up 3 home runs, which I think kind of tainted his line. Then you had Connor Brogdon gave up a hit and got a strikeout in his 1 inning, and he got the win. Sean Armstrong, 2/3 of an inning, an earned run, 1 earned, 1 run allowed, 1 hit. He had 2 strikeouts as well. Eric Sporsky. Let's go, Eric. Eric Saborski went an inning and a third, no hits, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts. He got a hold, and Cade Smith got a strikeout in his inning of work to get the save. Then you had, on the Mariners side, you had Logan Gilbert, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts, 1 home run given up. Jose Ferrer, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no strikeouts, no walks, no earned runs. Gabe Spire, who took the loss, inning pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a strikeout. Legamini inning pitch, a hit, no strikeout, two strikeouts and a walk, and a Cooper Criswell, Rays legend, one hit, one run, one earned, one strikeout, one walk, one home run given up in an inning. On the Mariners side, Brendan Donovan went 2 for 4 in his Mariners debut. Cal Raleigh, who everybody says, oh, that was a fluke year last year. Yes, he went 0 for 3, but he also did have a walk. Now we get to Friday. And I'm going to speed run through Friday's games. The Mets beat the Pirates 11-7. The White Sox, that's Thursday. Sorry. Correction. The Yankees beat the Giants 3-0. The Athletics lose to the Blue Jays 3-2. The Marlins beat the Rockies 2-1. And in this, there's somebody I want to highlight really quickly in all three of these Marlins games. It is Owen Casey, who was involved in an offseason trade for Edward Cabrera, with Edward Cabrera going to the Cubs and Owen Casey going as one of the big pieces going to the Marlins. The Braves beat the Royals 6-0. The Angels beat the Astros 6-2. The Tigers beat the Padres 5-2. Chase DeLauter hits another home run for the Guardians, I believe, in this game. Chase DeLauter, 1 for 4 with his third home run of the year. 3 home runs in 2 games for Chase DeLauter. And then the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks again 5-4. Edwin Diaz picks up his first save as a Dodger. We head on to Saturday. And the Rays and Cardinals had another fantastic game. There was no scoring up until the 8th inning when the Cardinals scored 2 to take a 2-0 lead. And then the Rays in the 9th come back and score 4 to tie it and take the lead to tie it. And they go to the bottom of the 9th, don't give up anything. Top of the 10th, they get a run, which we all know the ghost runner in extra innings it's the dumbest thing ever, but it's neither hearsay right now. And then the Cardinals get 2 in the bottom of the 10th to win it. Then we get to the Cubs and Nationals. The Cubs win 10-2, so they return the favor from Friday and then the A's lose in 11 to the Blue Jays 8-7. The Twins beat the Orioles 4-1. The Rangers beat the Phillies in 10 innings 5-4. The Red Sox lose to the Reds in 11 innings. And another rookie, Sal Stewart, having a good start to his first full year in the big leagues. The Mets beat the Pirates 4-2. The Marlins beat the Rockies 4-3. And Owen Casey has another big game. And then the Astros beat the Angels 11-9. And this was a crazy game. The Angels they scored 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. So that put them up 3-0. 3 in the fifth. They put them up 6-0. And then they proceeded to blow that. So they gave up 3 in the bottom of the fifth, 8 in the sixth to make it 11-6. And then in the ninth inning, they tried to make a comeback and got 3 in the ninth and ended up losing 11-9. Then the White Sox, the Brewers beat the White Sox 6-1. The Braves beat the Royals 6-2. The Yankees sweep the Giants 3-1. The Tigers lose 3-0 to the Padres. The Diamondbacks lose 3-2 to the Dodgers. And the Mariners beat the Guardians lose to the Guardians 6-5. And I'll give you one guess as to who hit another home run for the Guardians. That would be Chase DeLauter. That is 4 home runs in 3 games for Chase DeLauter. What are they feeding this man? 4 home runs in 3 games for Chase DeLauter. The Guardians have something with Chase DeLauter. And we get to Sunday, the wrap-up day of the first weekend of MLB. And the Orioles beat the Twins 8-6. The Phillies lose 8-3 to the Rangers. The Royals beat the Braves 4-1 to avoid the sweep. The A's lose 5-2 to the Blue Jays. The Reds beat the Red Sox 3-2 to take 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. The Pirates beat the Mets 4-3. The Marlins, behind a walk-off home run from Owen Casey, beat and sweep the Rockies 4-3. The Astros beat the Angels 9-7. The White Sox get beat 9-7 by the Brewers. And the Rays beat the Rays to avoid the sweep. Beat the Cardinals 11-7 with Steven Matz getting his first win as a Ray. The Nationals beat the Cubs to take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs as Clayton Beeter picks up his first save of the year. And the Guardians lose 8-0 to the Mariners as Cooper Criswell picks up the save. And now we shift to yesterday, Monday night. There was quite a bit of games. We're going to start with the Twins and the Royals. The Royals beat the Twins 3-1. All the scoring for the Twins was done in the second inning. They got 1 run in the second, gave up 2 in the bottom of the second, and then gave up another one in the bottom of the seventh. John Schreiber got the save. Now we go to the Orioles and the Rangers. The Orioles lose to the Rangers 5-2. In the scoring breakdown, the Rangers started the scoring in the top of the first with 1 run. The Orioles countered with a run in the bottom of the first, and then the Rangers tacked on 3 in the second and 1 in the ninth and gave up a single run in the fifth to obviously win 5-2. Not a pretty first start for Chris Bassett as a Oriole. And in the Reds behind Chase Burns got out the Pirates 2-0. Combined 8 hits between the two teams. Braxton Ashcraft gets the loss, which I'm not I'm not mad at that. Then we get down to the Nationals and Phillies. And Phillies fans are in shambles. Nationals put up 13. So they put up almost 2 touchdowns. They missed the extra point. So the Nationals went 13-2. And the Nationals started scoring in the first inning with a 4-run first, a single run in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the sixth, 4 in the ninth. And Foster Griffin got his first win of the year. Taijuan Walker took the loss. The Marlins behind lose 9-4. Davis Martin got the win. Chris Paddock took the loss. Jordan Hicks picked up his first save. All the scoring for the White Sox was done. They had a 4-run third, a 4-run fourth, 1 in the sixth. And the Marlins scored 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 1 in the eighth. The Blue Jays lose 14-5 to the Rockies. 14 runs, 17 hits for the Rockies. And the Rockies scored a single run in the third, a single run in the fourth, 7 in the sixth, and 4 in the eighth, 1 in the ninth. I have zero idea what's wrong with the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays scored a single run in the third, 3 in the eighth, 1 in the ninth. As Chase Dollander picks up the win, Louis Varland took the loss. The Braves shut out the Athletics. The Braves had a 3-run first inning and a single run in the eighth. They did give up 7 hits. The Cubs beat the Angels 7-2. The Cubs started the run parade in the first inning with a 3-run first, and then they had a 3-run third and a single run in the seventh. They did give up 2 runs in the top of the seventh. And then the Rays, and this is the game I want to cover. I saw the very tail end of it last night. Rays were up 2-1. Rays were up 1-0 going into the bottom of the sixth. And then William Contreras hit a 2-run homer to give the Brewers a 2-1 lead. And then the Rays tied it with a Johnny DeLuca solo home run in the seventh. And then the Rays got a run in the ninth thanks to a Nick Fortes double to the gap in left center. Clevenger got the one. But there is somebody I want to highlight in this game. It's not a hitter. It is, have the Brewers done it again with their pitching lab? Kyle Harrison, the guy that was in the minors for the Red Sox last year, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And I'm going to talk about Kyle Harrison here in a few minutes in my fantasy baseball portion of the show. And Kyle Harrison is also the thumbnail of this video. And I'm going to be doing recaps like this either every Monday or every Tuesday. And Kyle Harrison earned the thumbnail for this week because of his performance last night against the Rays. Not to be outside by Nick Martinez. 2 earned runs in 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 strikeouts. That is... And then an interesting 9th inning for the Rays. So you had Ian Seymour. There was 3 lefties that came up for the Brewers. And Seymour gets 2 of the 3 out. And then they go to Kevin Kelly to get the save. I don't understand the move made there. But it also kind of does make sense. And then you've got we got all that. Then we got the Mets beating the Cardinals 4-2. The scoring started at the top of the first with the Mets getting a single run. The Cardinals answered back to tie it. And then there was no scoring until the fifth inning when the Mets took a 2-1 lead. And then the Cardinals couldn't answer. Then the Mets added 2 in the top of the sixth to make it 4-1. The Cardinals got a run back to make it 4-2. Ranger Suarez struggled in his Red Sox debut. And Lance McCullers maybe turn back the clock a little bit. Scoring started in the bottom of the first. The Astros got a single run. Then they added 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh, 1 in the eighth. And they gave up a single run in the top of the seventh. Ended up winning 8-1. The Giants get their first win of the year. And congratulations to Giants skipper Tony Vitello on his first win as a major league manager. The scoring in this game, the Giants started the scoring in the third inning with a single run, and they added 2 in the fourth. And all the way to the ninth inning, we jumped. Bottom of the ninth, the Padres get 2 runs to make it 3-2, and that's how the score ends. The Yankees lose 2-1 to the Mariners, thanks to a Cal Raleigh walk-off single. The scoring started in the bottom of the second with a single run by the Mariners, and then the Yankees tied it in the seventh. And, of course, Cal Raleigh's walk-off in the bottom of the ninth gives the Mariners a 2-1 win. And then we get to the Diamondbacks. Michael Soroka had a standout performance in this game. He did get hit around a little bit. Verlander, 0-1. Paul Sewald got the save. The scoring started in the bottom of the first with a 2-run first inning for the Diamondbacks, then a 3-run second for the Diamondbacks, a 3-run fifth for the Diamondbacks, single run in the seventh. They did give up 6 runs in the seventh inning, but they ended up winning. And then we get to the Guardians and the Dodgers. And unfortunately, no home runs in this game for the Guardians. And our boy Chase DeWater goes 0-4 with a walk and a strikeout. But the pitching is where it really stuck out to me. Parker Messick, 5 innings. He gave up 5 hits. Didn't give up a run. 5 strikeouts. Bullpen, 2/3 of an inning from Sean Armstrong. Didn't give up a run. Didn't strike out anybody. Didn't give up a hit. Our boy Eric Eric Saborski, inning in a third, 1 strikeout. And then Cade Smith came in the ninth, gave up 2 runs, 2 earned, didn't have a strikeout. Hiroki Sasaki, 4 innings. I want to circle something here. He did have 4 strikeouts. But he did walk 2 hitters. He did have 2 walks. And then the other guy I want to circle for the Dodgers, out of the bullpen, Justin Robleski. He went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 earned, 3 runs, 3 earned, had 2 strikeouts. I don't mind that. The Dodgers need to find some arms in the back of the bullpen. Yes, Edwin Diaz is there. He's going to get a lot of saves. But there's going to be times where Edwin Diaz needs a day off. And maybe Justin Robleski or Tanner Scott can be that guy. But for the Dodgers, I want to cover Andy Pages, who went 2 for 4 and is hitting 286 to start, almost hitting 300 to start the season. And the talk of the offseason was, oh, the Dodgers need to go out and get a center fielder. Andy Pages isn't good in center. He had a decently good playoff. I think you're fine in center field. It's just I think you need to move Mookie Betts back to the outfield and put fine maybe center field, have him platoon, or maybe Mookie's fine at shortstop, but I think he's gonna stay at short for the long term. And that wraps up yes, I think the lines are going to be good this year. Um, and thank you for the kind remarks. Now we get to the fantasy baseball portion of the show, and my player of the night from last night for fantasy baseball was Jordan Lawler. He went 2 for 3 with a run scored, an RBI, and a stolen base. The Diamondbacks are trying him out in the outfield. And it seems to be working right now. And I think as long as he can cut down on the strikeouts, I think we're going to be fine. Now we get to my position player waiver wire. And the rule is they have to be under 70% roster. And all these guys are under 70% rostered. They're less than 1% rostered. Some of them. First one is Nathan Church, outfielder for the Cardinals. If you need help in the outfield because you've had injuries and I know it's early in the season, but you want to try the platoon effect in your outfield for fantasy baseball, I would pick up Nathan Church. He's 0.5% rostered. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Oswald Peraza of the Angels. He's 0.1% rostered. If you need help at third base, he's not playing third base, but he has third base eligibility right now. I would think about picking him up. Same thing with the guy in Brooks Lee, 7.4% rostered, and Joey Ortiz, 2.1%. And I know I kind of talked about the Brewers, and there's some news I have to get to before I get to the IL stashes. There's 2 prospects that just got extensions. Cooper Pratt got an extension for the Brewers. And I don't, off the top of my head, remember the other guy that got an extension. But it was a prospect that has not played in the big leagues yet. But now we get to the IL stashes. And the first one is Jackson Jobe. He's 1% rostered. Tigers starting pitcher. There's a chance he comes back this year. But this stash is dynasty. Jackson Jobe is a dynasty stash on your IL slot, unless he's somehow rostered in your league, which I don't know how he's only 1% rostered. I understand he's coming back from Tommy John surgery, but I feel like he's a guy that needs to be rostered in more leagues, because if he does come back at the end of this year, he could help you, or he could even be, if you're in a dynasty or keeper league, he could be one of your keepers on your dynasty team. And then we got Lars Nootbaar of the Cardinals, 3.5% rostered. It sounds like he's getting close to maybe returning, and we'll see what that Cardinals outfield looks like when he comes back. Maybe he slides into right field where Jordan Walker is, and you move Jordan Walker over to left. And then now we get to my pitchers waiver wire, and I've got 4 guys, and I talked about one of them earlier, and that is Kyle Harrison, who is only 5.5% rostered. Again, the rule is these guys have to be under 70% rostered. Kyle Harrison just went out yesterday, 6 innings, no runs, no earned runs against the Rays. And I think the Brewers have found something. Second guy is Shane McClanahan, 43.6% rostered. He makes his first start of the year today. tonight, and we'll see how that goes. And my third guy is Clayton Beater of the Nationals. If you need saves, and I know it's not the sexiest name off the waiver wire for closers, because all the big time closers are off the not available on waivers. Clayton Beater could be a guy that you pick up. He's 4.5% rostered, and I would highly recommend it. And then the last guy, and I might throw a bonus guy in here after, Tobias Myers of the Brewers, 1.1, exactly 1% rostered. And he's going to be the innings eater out of the bullpen if the Brewers get down by a lot or if they're up by a lot. And I'm going to throw a bonus name in here. Jordan Romano of the Angels. He's currently probably going to be their closer right now because Robert Stevenson's out and they got one other guy out that was supposed to get saves. So I would pick up I would pick up Jordan Romano. I would pick up any of the guys I talked about on the waiver wire and the IL stash list. And we also do offer memberships here with the Sports Breakdown channel. Feel free to join as a member. You get exclusive perks. You get to hear first when my college football trips are and a lot more. And we also offer merch. And that'll wrap up today's episode of the Inside the Dugout MLB show with Alec. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and I will answer them. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday.